Keys to a vehicle open doors of opportunity and elevate your quality of life. The automotive industry provides some 4 million jobs and makes 60 million cars and trucks a year. Hello, everyone. I'm Estela, Casas, creative brand strategist for the Viva Fiesta Auto Group family of dealerships in El Paso, Las Cruces, Albuquerque, and Santa Fe. Let's talk Viva style. Hi there. It is so great to see you. I went through my blouses last night and I said, I need to wear my Mija, yes you can.
I know. Like, is she going to wear it? Are we going to be matching?
Yes, we are matching. How are you, Iris? It's great to see you.
I'm doing good, and it's great to see you too. It's been a while. I mean, we only see each other on pictures, Facebook and all that, so it's nice to finally catch up. But I'm doing good. I'm doing real good.
Well, tell us, what are you up to now? Well, first of all, I need to tell you all that she is a founder and creator of the Mija, Yes You Can empowerment program and foundation. So tell me, where does it stand now, and where are you now, and what are you doing?
Ooh, I'm doing a whole lot of everything. We're right now the Mija, Yes You Can. So we're a part of the Paso del Norte Community Foundation. So we are just working on, we actually got our first grant from El Paso Electric, $10,000. So we split that. Yes. Finally, we can give our first scholarships. And we did the whole process. It's a long process. I mean, kudos to our grants and our scholarships, Mijas. Those committees, they worked their butt off. And, you know, it worked. We worked in the end. And we had over hundreds of applications.
Course.
And I was tasked with looking at the applications for the young girls who are going to college. Oh my God, you just want to give everyone money.
Everybody needs that money.
Yes.
So tell me, the Mija Yes You Can program started how many years ago?
It's over a year. So we turned 1 year old this past March 8th.
Okay.
So we started literally right before the pandemic, like a week.
So explain to everybody how the program started and how the Mija Yes You Can started, and what the goals are of this program. You have it's a fund within a foundation, but what is the goal of the Mija Yes You Can program?
So it started with, Mija, it's a term of endearment. You know, we all, my mom, my dad, everyone would call us Mija, Mijo, even if they didn't know you. It was just a term of endearment, and it's bilingual because for me, growing up, I worked in so many different businesses, but it wasn't until I worked in TV news. It's tough being a journalist, period, especially these days, but try being a woman and putting yourself out there, gaining weight, losing weight, having a good hair day, having a bad hair day, mispronouncing something, and it just, it took a toll on me, and that's when I really started realizing mental health too was important and wasn't something we were all talking about. And then not till recently, I became really close with my Mijas, at the station. We had Brianna, Shelby, and Brittany, and we just created this huge bond. And between us, we would like vent. And I realized, this is tough for all us girls. It's a male dominated business. And, we were all nervous to use our voices, and I was like, I want to create something where women won't be afraid to use their voice. Where they have like a whole team of women supporting them, letting them know you can do whatever you want.
Yes,
you can do it. And so it just turned into a shirt that my cousin made back then, and then I posted it, and everyone was like, "How can I get that shirt?" And I was like, So it went from that to a Facebook page to a website where I was sharing blogs of people, their experience and what they overcame. And then I had this crazy thought, and I was like, why don't I turn it into a nonprofit?
Right.
And for the first 4 months, I was solo because, it was during the pandemic, though. So we were working from home, so I had time to, do that. And then now we're a team of over 20 women. And I honestly could not do any of this without those women. Everyone provides something.
Absolutely. Let's go back to, being on TV is hard.
Mm-hmm.
I remember mentioning this to a life coach, and I said, I'm a target. I'm a target every day, because it's like you're this big target and people are throwing darts at you. And sometimes you hear them and sometimes you don't.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, we'd get emails and we'd get comments or phone calls, and now Facebook and all the social media where people criticize you and they don't, and you don't even know them. But she said, you are vulnerable every day. So being vulnerable as a woman on TV is very, very hard. So it does take a toll on you.
It does take a toll.
But you're still doing a little bit still with Channel 7.
Yeah. So I not full time anymore because also too I have a problem. I'm a workaholic, and I don't say that jokingly. People usually sometimes say that like, oh, you work a lot. No, my parents have even come up to me and they're like, you need to stop. You're gonna burn yourself out.
Mija, slow down.
Yes, it's like, Mija, yes you can, but you know what, Mija, you can do everything sometimes. Slow down a bit. And it was taking a toll on my son. He hated it. He was like, you never spend time with me, this and that. And it wasn't until my contract was gonna be up. So I said, okay, you have a choice. Take time off save some money, take time off, and continue with the Mija project. We don't get paid. People think, do you guys get paid?
It's a not-for-profit.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit. Right now, we can't afford to pay anyone. So everyone is doing the job in between jobs. Yeah.
Sure.
And that, or, spend some time with my son, and can't give my son back. I love him. So I was like, I'm going to take some time off, and it was hard because I have no job lined up. And I'm still looking, and it's not easy. You don't realize till you're looking again. And you're like, man, this isn't easy, So I'm, I would say like part-time-ish, but not really. So I'm going to be there on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays again, just until
Sunday fun days.
Yes, and Sunday fun days will always be there. That was my baby.
Exactly.
And so
That's something that you created.
Yes, and I was thankful that they, were like, we'll keep that. They loved it too. And Sarah Farms is the sponsor for that, and I'm thankful for them so much, of course, too.
Well, you've definitely make your mark, and you're still making your mark in this community, and it is hard. It is hard. You took a huge leap of faith by leaving something that was stable, something that
I was used to.
Your comfort zone.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
left your comfort zone, and that's very hard, but that is the place where we grow, and we learned what we're really made of.
Oh, yeah. And I always tell, I'm scared. There's times where I'm scared. I get nervous. But then I always tell people this, if you're not nervous and you're not scared about life, are you really living? Right. Like, I like that I keep challenging myself, And I know all things happen for a reason. And my parents have always put that in my head. And I don't understand the reason right now. I'm like,
but later on you will.
Yeah. I'm like, why didn't I get that job? And my mom will always say, because it wasn't meant for you. You're fine. You're good. And if not, I have my mom and dad there that are willing to help me, no matter what.
So somebody who comes, I'm sure you don't wear this shirt every day, but when people don't know about the Mija Yes You Can program or the campaign or the not-for-profit, what do you tell them? What do you tell a young girl where, you can tell that she's struggling, that she's, isn't comfortable in her skin, that she's not comfortable in the place she's at right now in her life? What do you tell them? Obviously, you have some sort of advice.
Oh, yeah. The big thing, too, is when we're able to relate to one another, it's good to know I'm not alone, I'm a single mom. I'm struggling. When I say I'm a workaholic and then I meet someone, they're like, me too. And then we bond over the fact that we both, have a problem. We're like, okay, well, how did you do this? How'd you do that? So for girls, I just hear their story and I'll be like, I went through that too, and this is how I overcame it. I still struggle though. And that's the thing I tell people,
struggle every day.
Everyone still struggles. Everyone, even sometimes the happiest people in the world are dealing with their own inner demons. So, don't believe, for the young girls especially too, don't believe everything you see on social media.
Oh, that's true.
Just...
Life is not perfect.
Yes, it is
like
not
you
perfect.
see it on,
and it's
on
not
social
meant to
media.
be perfect because
Right.
the only way we learn is through our imperfections and our mistakes in life. So
Absolutely. You talked about mental health at the beginning of this conversation, and you also represent NAMI.
the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Tell me a little bit about that, because once again, being vulnerable on TV is a big deal. But then you start this not-for-profit to help other girls realize and empower them and tell them that yes, you can. But you're very open about mental illness as well.
Yeah, and that was something, it's very taboo. People didn't, want to talk about it. And the thing is, you see people on TV and you think, oh, they're perfect. Everything's perfect. Life is perfect. And that's what I thought going in, And then once I started, that's when you get the comments, the viewers' comments. I'm at Walmart and someone doesn't like that it rained on their birthday party, so they get mad at me. And I'm like, I'm just trying to buy some wine. Right. And little things like that, though, that impact you. And I remember one day, someone messaged me on behalf of them and their husband, commenting my body, saying it was unprofessional to have curves, pretty much. So I thought,
we earned these curves.
I know. I got it from my mama. And so I felt like I was doing something wrong because I had curves, And I went to my boyfriend at the time, Trevor, And I just cried. And he looked at me and he was like, I never, because he was in TV too. He was a sports anchor. And he's like, he never got any of that, you know?
No, men normally
No,
don't.
they don't. So he was shocked that, you know, this people would say that to us, spend the time out of their day, say that to us. And then we'd go home and I'd go home and cry, like bawl. And so finally, you know, but even before that, I had dealt with my own issues. And it took me a while, but it was until on TV. I learned a lot in TV, man, that I was like, I need to go to to go see someone. And it's actually Leonard, who used to work with us at KVIA. Him and I would always talk. And he's the one who actually took me to the psychiatrist because he was like, he understood. He's like, it's not easy. And some people get embarrassed. He's like, I'll go with you. He was late to work.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Oh, yeah. And there isn't. He was late to work and he just sat in the waiting room and he's like, how was it? And I was like, thank you. You know, I came back and then I just made that article. I wrote that article and I was like, I don't know how people are going to react, but let's do it. Literally everyone was like, this happens to me too. I thought I was alone. And that's where it starts. Like, if you can relate to someone, especially someone you see on TV, then, you know, it helps start the conversation.
You're real.
Yeah,
You're
we're
genuine.
Real. Yeah, we have imperfections. Yeah, I'm not a robot.
What's next for you?
I don't know. Right now, I mean, I'm still, you know, job hunting, but I'm focusing on, you know, the Mija project because I feel like we're just, you know, we're doing so good right now. I want to keep the momentum going and I want to be able to, you know, be there for the girls when they need us. Because, you know, all of us were working and I was like, well, maybe I can take some time off and be there Monday through Friday when calls need to be answered, emails need to be replied to, or just little things here and there.
How do you go to bed at night thinking, you know, I've accomplished? Because when you're in TV, when you're in news, you go home and you go, wow, that was a great story, or oh, what a tragedy that was, or wow, this is fantastic. How do you sleep at night when you go to bed and you think about everything that you've done that day? How do you end the day?
Sometimes still worried because I go to sleep, you know, with okay, what do I have to do tomorrow? What do I have to do these next few days? But it's taken a while for me to actually say I'm proud of myself. I remember when I said my goodbye to at KVIA, you know, they have a little moment where they say the people that are leaving, and I was like, I haven't been able to say this out loud, but I'm proud of myself, you know. And everyone clapped, and I was like, thank you. But when I go to, I'm still my own toughest critic, and I always will be. My parents are like, be proud of what you've done. I'm like, I know, but I know there's still work to be done on me and on the work I do. But when I go to sleep, you know, my son still sleeps with me in the bed.
And that's all right.
And that's fine. I mean, we're trying to get him to go in his bed because he's like, kids are acrobats when they're sleeping and he's like, his arms are all over the place. Yes. But I look at him. I do look at him. I look at him and my two little dogs and I'm like, and we're in a house, you know, we have a backyard. We're doing good. There's times where I am struggling financially. I don't really like to let him know that, but he just knows, you know, he's happy that I'm there with him.
Exactly.
Like I told him, he was like, are you gonna be there when I go back to school? And I was like, yeah, baby. I was like, I could probably even volunteer, you know? And he's like, wait, well, Mom. And I was like, sometimes, not all the times, but I could just see the happiness in his face. And I go to sleep.
That makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, it makes it all worth. I don't know what's next and he doesn't either, but I'm like, but something good will happen as long as I keep pushing and don't give up. And I'm not going to give up.
Absolutely. Well, a message that you'd like to leave everyone with today?
I mean, don't give up. And sometimes we don't trust the process. You're like, why is this happening to me? You know, why did that person win the lottery and I didn't? Life's a struggle, but what's that saying? That straight roads never made a strong driver. Something like that.
No, I've never heard that saying.
Well, anyways, because life is full of, you know, lefts and rights and tosses and turns, you know, but that's what makes you who you are, you know, and that's why I appreciate being in TV because that is what made me who I am. And I still don't have a tough skin. I still, you know.
We have feelings.
Yes, I have feelings too, but it did open my mind and made me realize, oh, you know, the world is tough, but we're tougher.
Well, you are, I admire you. I'm very proud of everything that you've accomplished. We worked together for a long time.
Yes, we did. And we'd always be in the restroom and having our
conversations,
our girl talks.
Yeah. But I've seen you grow and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. And I mean, that makes me happy to say you're proud of me. Because I I watched what you would do, the community service you would do. And it's funny because people will tell me, I see a little Estela in you. And that's the best compliment I could get, because I'm like, I grew up watching her. Then when I worked with you, you were like my mom there, And
Andale.
yeah.
Andale,
what are you
mija.
doing? What are you doing? Don't do that. And I would see the community service you would do. And I was like, you use your platform. You don't have to use your platform. There's people who just work and go home. And that is perfectly fine.
Right.
Perfectly fine. Sometimes I envy them because I'm an open book, and sometimes I'm too open. But yeah, I grew up, watching what you do. And so it makes me happy that people say that, and makes me happy that you say you're proud of me, because I'm like, I learned it all from you.
Well, thank you so much for coming in, Iris. This Viva Style podcast really focuses more on the automotive industry, but we have to profile and we have to highlight and celebrate women in the automotive industry, because only 25% of the workforce in the automotive industry are women.
Yeah, it's
So-
it's a male-dominated
It's a
business, too.
male-dominated business as well. So we have to give kudos and have conversations like these to empower women and let them know that we're okay.
Yeah, and that you can do anything. Don't let anyone tell you you can't.
Because Mija, yes,
you can.
Thanks for coming in. It's automotive news you can use. We'd like to hear what you think about our Viva Style podcast. Send in your questions and suggestions to vivaautogroup.com. Be engaged, invested, and entertained with meaningful conversation every week on Viva Style.